Good day, class.
Good day, Dr. Adebayo Solico.
You are all welcome to our research class. Today we are going to look at data analysis. The first thing you must notice is that the research topic that you have chosen will determine your data analysis. And more so, we cannot finish all the examples of data analysis in a lesson. When to use what statistical tests in research? There are several statistical test types for analyzing research data. When to use what is often the challenge. This piece provides a simplification. 1 t-test. Use when you want to compare the means of two groups to determine if there's a significant difference. Example, you want to compare the average score of students who received traditional teaching versus those who received innovative teaching. 2 ANOVA analysis of variance. Use when you want to compare the means of 3 or more groups to high if there are significant differences. Example, you want to compare the average score of students from different schools to determine if there are significant differences in their performance. 3 regression, simple and multiple. Use when you want to examine the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables. Example, you want to examine the relationship between hours studied and exam scores, simple regression, or the relationship between hours studied, exam scores, and student motivation, multiple regression. 4 chi-squared test. Use when you want to determine if there's a significant association between two categorical variables. Example, you want to determine if there's a significant association between smoking and lung cancer. 5 Wilcoxon-Rank-Sum test, Mann-Whitney U-test. Use when you want to compare the distributions of two independent groups. Example, you want to compare the distribution of scores between students who received traditional teaching and those who received innovative teaching. 6 Kruskal-Wallis H-test. Use when you want to compare the distributions of 3 or more independent groups. Example, you want to compare the distribution of scores among students from different schools. 7 Friedman test. Use when you want to compare the distributions of 3 or more related groups. Example, you want to compare the distribution of scores among students at different time points. 8 Pearson correlation coefficient. Use when you want to examine the linear relationship between two continuous variables. Example, you want to examine the relationship between hours studied and exam scores.
Doctor, so we have many statistical methods that we can use, depending on the nature of our study.
Yes, Lizzie. So we can stop here today. Till next lesson when we shall continue to treat the remaining data analysis.